welcome. Anybody that's watching, feel free to throw some messages in the chat. I'll be happy to address any questions as I'm working here. Try and get the board in view a little bit. I don't really have a camera, but hopefully that helps. Right now I'm trying to clean off the bad solder mask. A lot of that. Starting to make some headway. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Welcome, anybody who's recently joined. So yeah, the issue is this. Well, I've tried a lot of things actually before this, and this mask just doesn't want to come off. It's actually on there really good, but it is pretty corroded, so it does need to come off. But I have tried like solder braid. I tried all that last night, and it did not want to come off. But I'm only doing it in a very limited area just to try and retin it, and then I have some nail polish. I'll put a new coat on of something to protect it from oxidation. But yeah, I have a fiberglass pen right here, and it doesn't do. I mean, I honestly haven't tried the fiberglass pen specifically, but let's give it a shot. Why not? I haven't really done much with her. Yeah, I mean, it's not really doing all that much. It's just, I'm just trying to get rid of the major damage and, tin that up. I'm not going to do like the whole board. There's a few areas I'm going to do, and that's really about it. It's only about 200 grits. It's really not doing very much. In fact, it's doing less than I expected it to, which is kind of a little bit of surprise, but I'm doing right at the traces for the battery. So there's really not a lot there that I have to worry about, say, like nicking or anything. It's actually coming along quite nicely. Let's spin that around. Unfortunately, I don't really get a live view of what I'm doing. Actually, yes, I do. Hold on, I gotta go to OBS. So you can see, I'm just trying to get that area where you can see the metal nice and cleaned off, and then I'll tin it. It's coming along actually quite nicely. I actually like the fact that it's not like just tearing it apart. It gives me a little bit of control over the amount of like mask. I mean, I could pull out a Dremel and I could just go across the board that way. I don't know if that would be a very wise thing to do, but you know, there's many ways I guess that you could approach this. Whether it's overkill or not, that's a whole different discussion. Arthur, it's really crazy though that board just like broke in half. I'm still actually really surprised about that because looking at your Zorro slots, I don't really see anything that would give me indication. Yeah, I need a bigger hammer. Exactly. Yeah, I could bust out a belt sander or something. I'm sure that would go a long way. Like I said, it's not actually doing. I kind of wish I had like an 80 grid at this point, given how much I'm really trying to. But you know, I wonder if because it's 200 fine. But yeah, it's actually coming quite nice. Can't really complain. The via, that's nice and clean now. I can clean that up. So UV core? Oh, okay, right. So was that? Oh, UV cure. Yeah. Really, you just need something that's going to prevent oxygen from getting into the joint or the area. I also wanted this so I could clean up, the CPU a little bit better. And that actually does. I'll probably end up using the 200 as a. Yeah. Good. Well, I don't know where you are to say evening, but for me it's evening. So good evening, Retro Hacker. I am working on cleaning up corrosion on this A2000. Cleaning up the trace right underneath the CPU for the battery for the real-time clock. Just kind of sanding off the. I haven't had that problem as far as like the itching personally. When I was a kid, I'd played with a fiberglass rod, and I was young. I didn't know anything about fiberglass, and it's. I learned real quick. It's itchy. Let me tell you that. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on what I'm trying to do, this uh, X-Acto knife might it works a little bit better. But yeah, the board's quite. It's all very isolated damage, but it's like that type of damage where you're there for a while cleaning it up, and then you lose your sandpaper. Purple. I mean, up there it is. It was on top of. All Yeah, it's coming along real nice. You can see. Yeah, I need to do the same thing. I'm using my MacBook. It works well enough, but you can see I'm starting to get nice copper traces. Might even kick the quality up a bit because it's quite low. I have it low right now. I'm gonna kick it up 1,000 kilobits. I had lowered it because I thought that was what was causing some latency on Facebook. Turns out Facebook just sucks. And yeah, so there we go. Hopefully that makes things a little clearer. My biggest fear, as with anything when you work on these things, is while it worked fine when I took it apart, to clean it, is it going to work when I put it back together? Yeah, man. Like I said, this isn't mine. This is actually Arthur there. He sent it to me to look at, and right now, like I said, I'm trying to get an idea of, it's still, it really is a very isolated amount of damage. It's just, I feel like it's going to be one of those, it's isolated, but it's still a pain in the ass to clean up. But it's all right. We'll figure it out. Trying to just clear off like all the traces where there's corrosion, and then retin them. I rather know like those traces are nice and protected, because if the trace is breaking as I clean it, it means it's probably going to break over time. That's at least what I found. That's yeah. Um, my board was a whole different. Like I'm not even gonna touch some of this stuff. Like right now, it's working. I might grab like if I have some board, circuit cleaner, I might like spray it in some areas. But like a lot of it is at this point, from what I can. I mean, I haven't gone over it with vinegar yet. That's gonna be like last because I'm gonna have cleaned up a lot of the corrosion by then anyway. Yeah, I'm cleaning up right now the serial ports. Like the fuses and stuff in the front. Those are really blown out. So being it costs so little, and I already have brand new ones, and I already need to order myself a new CPU socket because I'm giving Arthur mine. I'm probably just gonna figure out what all that costs since shipping's one price. Replace all that for him, and he'll know like that entire area has been rebuilt. Yeah, once I test boards before I even do anything with them. I try to test them before I work on them, because honestly, that has saved me so much frustration. Yeah, you don't test them. You find out, oh, it doesn't work. Well, did it work before? Did you mess it up? Which one is it? And I just try to avoid that. I've had too many instances where I didn't do that, and then I'm sitting there wondering and trying to fix something that I have no idea, what's going on with it. It's kind of nice having somebody, even if they're just watching while they're doing other things, to talk to, because this stuff's boring. We did it last night. I believe you were in the chat last night, Nigel, and we sat there for 3 hours, and I got a lot done. In 3 hours, I was able to remove the CPU. I was able to do this, that, and the third, and got everything good starting point. And it's just nice to have somebody, because I got people that live with me, but they don't want to sit while I do this stuff. I don't really expect them to, honestly. It's kind of nice because, Arthur don't really know me, from anybody else in the group. But, and he's trusted me. And, live streaming, this is kind of my way of like, hey, you can see each little thing I do. Like, okay, yes, it did work. So it's going to work when I'm done with it. Yeah, this is, it's coming along nice. There's a little patch of, solder I want to clean up. I had to, they may be rock solid, but that doesn't mean I didn't have to replace all 6 buffers on mine. So, let's see. Acetone. I need more paper towel. Let's see if I have some. Alright. As I work on mine, I guess I'm going to have to live stream that. And, granted, there's only 6 people watching this time, but hopefully we'll get more people. Hey, guys, don't forget to, there's the chat. Yeah, you had mentioned that it had 14 patches last night. I'm like, damn. Like, that is quite insane. That reminds me of a Macintosh board I was working on. Unfortunately, that didn't work before I got to it. It definitely didn't work after, due to just, there were so many wires that needed to be fixed. It's easy to lose track of it. And, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't boot anymore. Probably a chip or something. And I don't have another board to, like, swap things. And I think they're all surface mount anyway. I still have the actual unit, though. So, in that regard, at least I have the original board. Alright, we're almost done. I'm going to grab a new little section of paper here. There we go. Clean off the solder. Get that all. Alright. I have a replacement cap too. Like I said, I'm probably going to just want to replace whatever I can. Where is... I don't know where my magnifier is. Probably be helpful right about now. You got to just cut out stuff like that. You know, if you know what RAM is bad, I just cut it out. I don't waste my time trying to fix it because it ends up just not being worth it. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I generally just cut out parts that are bad because trying to sit there and figure out like why doesn't it work or how to get it out. It's just too much. For me, at least, it's too much work. Alright, I know I need to fix pin 64. Yeah, because that's quite toasted. There's no fixing that trace. In fact, I think that trace is even basically broken off due to the... Alright, probably... Sorry, not you guys aren't able to really see. I'm just trying to get... There's a lot of, yeah, I might want to remove that resistor. Clean the trace up, fiberglass it, or even use, yeah, I'll probably be, sitting here. I'll see you, bro. Oh, these tweezers suck. There we are. Anything can be a pair of tweezers as long as you don't pull too hard. There we go. Alright, we'll clean that guy. Actually, that's a quarter. I just go ahead and replace that. I got plenty of resistors. Solder breed. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, rather have the board look like, you know, it's like it should than, you know, fix one problem and you have another later. Because a lot of this corrosion will come back. Like, it's just natural, you know. So what I did was I removed one of the resistors here, and clean. It gives me a chance to get under it because some of the traces there corroded and whatnot. So I just give them a little love. And then I a lot of things. What I'll do is if I have short resistor leads, I'll just take the solder out of, like, if there's a trace that looks suspect and it's like short, I'll just take thin wire or whatever and just make a whole new trace, especially if it's, you know, very short distances between the where the trace goes. That way, it's just reinforced. You know, if you run into an issue where the original gets weak, it's not gonna, you know, cause any damage or really even be noticeable. I'm not gonna lie, man. I wish my board was this easy because this is not that bad, like by a long shot. A lot of that's probably because you got to it as, you know, quick as you did, or, you know. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. What resistor value is this? It's only a regular quarter watt, so I got abundance of those. I bought, you know, you buy them in packages. Mine looks much. Let's see. You are a 330 watt resistor. I'll show you mine actually. Mine's right here. I mean, you can see trace damage wise. You can see like all that shiny stuff is where I've had to remove stuff, and I'm not even done, like, technically. I'm probably gonna clean that. There's some traces that are damaged that I've already replaced. I'm just gonna cut out the original metal, and, you know, that way there's no chance of it shorting. And then I'll coat it with nail polish, which is what I'm gonna do to yours when as I, like, work on it and, you know, tin things. I'll coat it with nail polish. That acts as almost like a sealant. I mean, it'll have solder on it too, but you know, you do more than you need to just to keep the longevity. I mean, people. I mean, you know, let's put it this way: these boards get so bad, people have remanufactured them. You know, to a point where that's how I fixed mine. Was I rely? You know, they released it publicly, and I was able to then, you know, using the board diagram, not even diagrams. They have like you know full PCB replacements. So I was able to go through and use that to my advantage, and you know, we're in a good time. I mean, this was 10 years ago. I don't know if you. I mean, you want to see something cool? Go look up the Amiga 2000 remake, the PCB. You'll see, like they do. They did what a lot. What I'm doing is they sanded. They took off all the components. Probably took like a hand sander and just with like a light grit, like something like you know probably 500, 600, just went over the board and removed all of the solder mask, and it's just traces. All right, I need a 330 watt resistor. There it is. Let's see, is that, make sure that matches. That color, look, is this? Let's see, I'm going to look at, oh, that's going to be a problem because I don't have the board software on here. I'm going to have to connect to my computer and take a look. I want to make sure this is a 330, that it's not like out of spec or something. Alright, let's see. Sprint. Open. There we go. Alright, we'll zoom. Now that was resistor. I guess I could have just looked that up. What is that? 100? Can't really tell because the ink kind of wore off. Where are we? We are between Kickstart and the CPU. So we're this resistor here. That is resistor R1000. Here, I'll get you the links. I actually have to go and look at it for the listing. Go away, news. I don't care. Yeah. So here's the. Okay, so that was R1000. Yes, 330 watts or 330 ohms, which is what I have right here. So why you gotta have this stuff. All right, just double check that this is within spec. And it's a little over 10%. You're always going to have a little bit of overage. Overachiever! Well, in a bad way. You don't usually... Alright, set that there. But here is the GitLab repository. You'll have to like traverse it a little bit. There we go. Just jump down. Like it's a UI, so you'll be able to just jump down to where you need to be. It's gonna be. Look at the photos; they're huge. They're like 14 megabytes a piece. But take a look at the photos. They're actually cool. You can see they basically did what I'm doing, which is kind of where I got the idea from. As like a great alternative to sitting there with because really all we're doing is taking off the solder mask, which there's damage, so we want to really get an idea of what that looks like anyway. This is and make sure we're addressing that. So I assume you want me to just replace any parts that are on the front of this board. I mean, you're talking like pretty much pennies for most of this stuff. I could send you the list of parts, but I have them all right here already. Like I said, I was going to do it for my own, but I'm already here and working on yours. It's easy, and I already got to reorder the socket anyway. Shipping was like $5, so yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, and that way the whole front of the board will basically be brand new. Paul, who's not here, but he was here last night, Carpenter, he's the one that basically goes, anytime I work on these, I just completely gut them and replace the parts, and I'm like, that's not a bad option, because I don't have an easy way to show you. I'll try, but you could just see all of the, oh man, I might want to remove that keyboard socket, but you might be able to see, like, in there, it's just full of gunk. That's all corrosion and whatnot. I'm just gonna basically cut out all that because I have the layout from the replacement, the remake. The board is almost like a 1-to-1 remake too, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's just easier. I'll replace all the capacitors. I ordered everything. All right, let's see. So I guess before I do that. Yes. No, go away. Wow, can't even come say hi to the gang that's hanging out with me. I see how you are. One thing I do need to do is track what I use. I'll have to make sure I keep the bag so I know what to reorder. I need a 1... Okay, so I'm going to need these ferrite beads. So, take that out. No, you're good. We actually do a mushroom casserole tonight, or should I just go find some? What? Go. It's literally. I could come up in a bit to make it.
It's 7.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna take it 2 hours.
No. What are you talking about? It's literally, you make this. We don't have to make it like complicated.
Okay.
Tell Sam to just start throw the tell him to take the mushrooms, throw them in a pan with some butter, and cook them. Alright, do I need these? No, actually all that area is pretty good. So I don't need everything in here, thankfully. I am avoiding anything that's unnecessary, just because it's a lot easier. Let's see, what do we got? This is a multiplexer, don't need that. This is a quad logic gate, don't need that. This is a capacitor, 470. What is this? Has no markings on it. Oh boy. Set these there, and you're gonna fall out. There is that resistor. Another octal gate, more resistors. I must have missed it. Must be like buried in here somewhere. I know I ordered it. More capacitors. Any capacitor? Yeah, there's one there. I'll need that. You are 4.7. This is 4. No, 47. That's 47. That is diode. You are 47. You are 22, I think. At least not right now. You're a fuse. I need one of you. I'll probably write down whatever I use so I don't. Actually, I probably will need those. But go back for them. I know I ordered it. At least I hope I ordered it because I don't see it. That's everything, right? Oh, did I not order it? I know I did. This must be missing it. Ever order so many things that you can't find one thing? Ceramic, really small capacitors, another multi-layer ceramic, diode. Where is it? Let me go look at my Mouser account. Did I order from Mouser or DigiKey? DigiKey. No, it was Mouser. It was definitely Mouser. Oh. That was not what I wanted. There we go. There we go. Okay. Orders. Order history. Ooh, it looks like I did not order that. Well, what's the condition of that? A little less for wear. All right, I'll just sand it. I bought everything else. I can't believe I missed that. I wonder how that happened. Oh, I probably missed it because it was okay. Yeah, I switched from DigiKey for a while. Yeah. All right. Well, one component out of all the others ain't bad. All right. Yeah, I forgot to order something. It's not a big deal. All right. Go ahead and just do it there for now. You wake up. And I better put the lid on the acetone before I regret it. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly why I don't bother trying to remove them. I tried to remove this resistor or capacitor, and it just split in half. Did the same thing on mine, actually. Funny. So this I do have spare parts of, so I'm not worried about it. These resistors are pretty freaking fragile, or capacitors. Come on. Just want to remove you. Oh, there's part of it. I'll keep that aside so I can figure. It doesn't really matter. I have it. All right, let's flip it over. Figure out which one that is. There we go. And it's out. Gotta clean up the solder. Just as I suspected. Full of crap. You are behaving badly. Ah, you're all gummed up, that's why. Of course, it's all nasty. That explains everything. I have no idea how this thing gets as dirty as it does. I assume it's the flux mixing with the molten solder, because it just gets really cruddy. But honestly, for the stuff I'm doing, I really don't need anything more specialty than that. That should be better. Feels a little better, but not great. Should go get. I have another one. I should go grab it. There we go. One hole clean. Or it's got to be a ground plane. It'd just be easier to stick the. There we go. Okay. Now, that'll take a focus on getting all the other ones out. Now, if I can salvage a part, I'm definitely going to, just for convenience overall. Come on, YouTube, stop being weird. Yeah, so like this, a little sandpaper, I could salvage it. That was a mistake on my part. Yep. Don't be me, kids. That cleaned up nicely. Alright, so where did that? Yeah, so like this guy, it's just a ferrite bead. There's no reason to replace it. There's no actual like active component of it. It's a piece of metal. So I'm not going to. Unless it broke, I wouldn't, replace it. Okay, that side came out. Oh, yeah. Came out alright. Yep. Cursor broke. Yep. I expected that. Well, I'll probably wait for that. Maybe I'll be able to salvage this one. Let's see. Trying to see if I can not have to replace every capacitor, but so far I'm having to replace all the little capacitors here. They look pretty beat up. but we'll see. Okay, we got one out, mostly. Hey, I got one out in one piece. And looks like I could probably clean this guy up with a little sandpaper. That's good. Yeah, metal's nice and strong still, so. Oh. I will have to go make dinner shortly. Wife, that's what she was asking about when she came down. Oh, I am quite hungry, actually. Who enters my lair? Oh, it's you. Where are we at? Alright. I'll come up in just a second. Alright. I'm going to try and remove the big resistor here. And then... This is one of those, really don't want to break it because I don't have a replacement. Is Huh? No, it smells like remover. Probably better to... There we go. More than one way to skin a cat. There we go. And looks more... it's a little toasty from the stupid rot, but... There we go. Alright. Yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up, but she'll be alright. Just a little surface corrosion on the... I'll tin it with the iron. It'll be completely covered in solder. It won't be a problem. Alright. I'm going to go eat, so I will let you know when I get back. I'll repost. I got to go make dinner before the wife kills me. But I'll go ahead and give you like a final idea where we are. Worried about the keyboard port, because that's starting to look like it might underneath be pretty nasty. So, but I've been able to salvage all but like 2 capacitors, I think. So here's what we got right now. OBS. So we've removed the parts above the keyboard, which are right here. So what I'm going to do is once that's out, clean off all the solder, because right now it's really crusty and nasty. I'll clean that up, and then it will, there's nothing really trace-wise there. There's one, but it's in pretty good shape, so I'll clean that up. Anyway, I shall be back. Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and end this here.